Hoardganize Podcast. I am your host, professional organizer Rachel Seavey, and it's time to get organized. Hey collectors, today I am providing you with 10 self-care tips for during these trying times, during COVID-19, during the pandemic. I work with a lot of you in person, and some of the people I'm coaching are really having a really hard time dealing with the new normal, and that's absolutely understandable. I think we all have gone through ups and downs during the last 6 months, and 2020 is definitely a year that we want to forget, but probably will never forget. So what I've noticed is that a lot of my clients aren't taking very good care of themselves because this has brought up some anxiety. This has triggered their depression. People are retreating. People that are generally recluses are staying home even more and caring less for themselves. There's a lot of people out there that aren't showering, that aren't brushing their teeth because they're depressed, and this pandemic has just kind of sent them over the edge. So I want to work on sharing some tips that I personally use on self-care. This is something that I personally suggest you take some time, you get a notebook and a pencil, and you write down these 10 tips so that you can remember them when you start to get the coronavirus blues and you start to feel down. You can say, okay, what can I do to make myself feel better? And so hopefully you can either tape or thumbtack this list somewhere, put it on your mirror, somewhere like that, especially if you find it hard to get up and get dressed in the morning. A lot of people are out of work, they're working from home, so they're not getting showered and ready like they used to when they had to be at a place and look professional. And I feel like we're inundated with all these new hygiene tips. Even the signs on the freeway are lecturing me, cover your cough and wash your hands for 20 seconds and save lives. But nobody's really addressing the mental health aspect and particularly the self-care aspect of being depressed or being stressed out, especially overwhelmed during the pandemic. So hopefully these 10 tips will help you. They're created, and I'm trying to inspire you to shift out of that mindset and to get into a different space. I'm a big fan of having a plan in place. Like I said, write down these tips, take a moment, grab a piece of paper and a pen. That way, once you have a plan and once you see these tips, you can start scheduling them into your calendar like you do your decluttering events, hopefully, and you're also scheduling in these self-care tips and reminders so that you don't neglect yourself, especially right now with the holidays coming up. It's usually a depressing time. We miss people that aren't around anymore. Maybe we are lonely. So I definitely think it's a great time to get some new self-care habits in order. And I will start now. So tip number 1, and you can do all of these right now during the pandemic or any year, any time of the day, any day. Tip number 1 is to give yourself a massage. I know that, at least in California, massage parlors are not open. A lot of people do not feel comfortable having a stranger rub them. So I actually brought this out. And one of my organizers, Lisa, she brings this on the job. She brings her own. And give yourself a massage. Something like this, I think I spent $20 on Amazon. You can just simply, use your hand, give yourself a massage. The idea is just to try and feel relaxed, feel good, not feel stressed out. So if you don't want to give yourself a massage, come here, Snappy, and you have a pet, you can give your pet a massage. Pets love to be pet and massaged. There's all sorts of massages online that you can give. Special, pressure point and therapeutic massages. But my dogs just like a general light massage. So tip number 1, give yourself a massage or give your pet a massage. Tip number 2 is to take a walk. Hopefully you're not aging or disabled. So if you're able to take a walk, please take a walk outside. Right now, I know we have smoke going on in California. It's one of, like I said, the pandemic is really stressful. You want to go take a walk and you can't because it's smoky. So hopefully you can go take a walk with some clear air, because being outdoors can really rejuvenate your spirits. A lot of us are affected by seasonal affective disorder and SAD. So as it starts, as we're getting into fall and winter and the days are shorter and darker, it's really important to get outside, even if it's not a long walk, even if you just walk from your front step to the edge of your driveway. It's really important to get that sunlight and start feeling good, get the vitamin D, and get the exercise, get your heart rate up. It provides you with the same kind of endorphins that you get when you're shopping. So this is a great thing to do instead of shopping, is to go out and take a walk, get some sunshine. And, the good thing is it's free, to go take a walk and get sunshine. It's absolutely free. You're not bringing anything into your home, and you're doing a really good thing for your body, for your mind, and for your spirit. Whatever it takes. If you have to get a walking buddy and you're wearing masks and you're 6 feet apart, at least you're outside, hopefully for at least 15 minutes a day, getting your heart rate going and getting that crucial sunlight that we all need to stay happy. Tip number 3, take a hot bubble bath. If you don't have a bubble bath, take a hot shower. And if you've got so much clutter in your shower, in your bath, that you can't do either, then take a hot washcloth and just put it on your face and take some deep breaths in and out and wipe yourself down. I like to personally take a few drops of either peppermint oil or lavender oil and put them on my hot washcloth. And just breathe in. It's aromatherapy. You kind of feel like you're at the spa. I do this in my bath. I do this in my shower. I really love essential oils. So take a hot bath, a hot shower, or just use a hot rag with or without essential oils to rejuvenate yourself and be good to yourself and be good to your soul. A good soak is really good for the soul. Tip number 4, this is one of my favorites, and I do this all the time, and hopefully you've noticed, but be silly. Being silly is underrated. Whether you do a silly walk or you make a silly face or you act silly with your pets or with a friend, you can actually lighten your mental load with silliness. And again, it doesn't cost anything and you're not acquiring anything or bringing it at home. Another thing that's very helpful is to change your pose, change your posture. If you're hunched over and like this, then it's kind of hard to be happy when you look like this. Sit up straight, change your posture, flip your hair around, be silly, dance with your dog. Give them a big kiss. Do whatever it takes to get you out of a funk and be silly. Another fun thing is, and I know I'm sitting here, but is to do what they call a Wonder Woman pose or a power pose. And some of you have heard of this and some of you may not. So I did do some research online. I don't like reinventing the wheel. And I read on Matiza online that they say, have you ever been curious how some women have a certain presence about them? Think of Wonder Woman, think of Beyonce. Is it science, or is there something as simple as practicing a power pose, which I do, before you declutter or when you're feeling bad? You just do it like this, and it's a high power pose. It's nicknamed the Wonder Woman pose because that's how she stands. And you just stand tall with your chest out and your hands on your hips. And social psychologist Amy Cuddy, who studied and developed this, she describes how our body language affects how others see us. And it also affects how we see ourselves. So she shows how her power posing, her Wonder Woman pose, standing in a posture of confidence, Even when you don't feel confident, when you feel depressed or you're bummed out about your clutter, it can affect your testosterone and cortisone levels in the brain, and it's going to have an impact on your chances for success and lower your stress. So be silly, do a Wonder Woman pose. Next tip goes right along those lines. Tip number 5 is get up and dance. Turn on music, shake it up, get your heart rate going, boogie, do the mashed potatoes, do whatever you want. Turn on your favorite album, turn on your favorite playlist, turn on Spotify. Sing into a carrot like it's a microphone. The way you move your body affects the way you feel. The way you move your body, the way you hold your posture, the way you stand, it really, truly does affect the way you feel. And when you feel good, you behave better, you get better results. It's really important to get your heart rate going. I can't emphasize just how important it is to move, to rock out, to listen to some tunes. I have a mini trampoline. They call it a cellular rebounder, I think. And I just love to jump on that thing. And even if it's just 20 times and listen to some music or do some silly poses, it's really important to get all that energy out and to be able to put yourself into a happier state when you're feeling down. And you can absolutely do that with music and dance and movement. Tip number 6, share your smile. Sometimes smiling at someone can make a huge difference in their day. And it also makes you feel good. It is hard, though, in this new world, this new masked world where everyone has to wear a mask everywhere they go, to see those beautiful smiles. So take a moment and take a picture of yourself smiling and send it to all your friends, or just look at it, or look at yourself smiling in the mirror. Right now, we're not seeing enough smiles. So work really hard on smiling at others if you're not wearing a mask, or if you're on your Zoom, smile a lot, because we're not seeing as many smiles with these masks going on. So that's something to definitely focus on, because smiling will make you feel better, and the person that you smile at will make them feel better. And again, it's free, and you're not bringing anything home, and you're not shopping. Tip number 7, this is a really hard one for people, but make a list. It could be just a few things. It could be a robust list, but make a list of all the things that you love about yourself. And it's hard because we're like our hardest critics, right? So writing down what you love about yourself isn't your usual number one thing that you're going to think of doing. So take some time and write down the things that you love about yourself, appreciate about yourself. And if you're having a hard time finding, ask some friends or ask family members what it is that they like most about you. So that way you know who you are when you're at your best, and you're able to appreciate that, and then hopefully in turn represent that more. Tip number 8. This is pretty basic, but it's something that a lot of us don't do. I work on it myself. Eat a healthy meal. Get a yummy salad or some salmon or veggies or fruit. When we fuel our body with the good stuff, we feel better. And when we feel better, we behave better, and then we get better results. I can't emphasize just how important it is to eat a healthy meal. And don't ever declutter when you're hungry or hangry. Always have a healthy snack and lots of water nearby so that you can fuel yourself while you're decluttering, and you don't start going down into a path of frustration. Because I know when I'm hungry, little things get on my nerves, but if I'm not, if I have eaten something, especially something healthy that's nourishing me, then I'm react to small things a little bit nicer, and they don't stress me out as much. So definitely remember to eat a healthy meal. I know a lot of you are not eating as well as you can, so definitely put that on your list. Less junk food, more healthy food, and definitely make sure that you're not hungry or hangry when you're decluttering, because it'll make it just that much more annoying and hard to do. Tip number 9, help someone. It's not always all about you. When we help others, we do feel good about ourselves. And, you know, it does help you realize that you have things to offer, especially if you're feeling kind of worthless or down. By helping a neighbor or helping a friend or helping a family member or helping your pet, you really truly feel good about yourself. And it can also replace things like shopping and cluttering. Instead, you're helping others. And again, you can help others for free and you're not bringing things home. And if you don't have a neighbor or a friend, try and help somebody you don't know. Volunteer somewhere if you can during COVID. There's a lot of online resources. Join an online meetup group. Try and just help somebody. Help somebody at your church. Help somebody's kid from down the street. The more you help and the less you focus on yourself, the better you're going to feel. The secret to living is giving. Instead of shopping and acquiring, try helping someone. It really feels good. And like I said, it doesn't cost a thing usually. My last tip is to read a book and find something that interests you or that you've always wanted to learn about. You want to get out of your cluttering and shopping habits. So you want to find things to do that are healthier, that don't require you bringing things home or spending money or going into debt. So read a book. Spend some time focusing on learning about something that you're interested in. It doesn't even have to be anything that's career related. It could be something just totally off the charts that you always wanted to know. It could be history. It could be science. But feed your brain. You definitely want to take care of yourself. You want to have some healthy and positive distractions if you're trying to wean yourself off from over acquiring. Definitely reading a book will help you escape. It'll help you learn new things. And if you don't have time to read a book, kind of like me, I have a very busy schedule, or if you've got ADD and you find it hard to start and finish a book, then get it on audio. While you're cleaning and decluttering, listen to, like you're listening now to my podcast, listen to other podcasts, listen to, stories online, listen to things that you can learn from, and you feel like you're gaining something and you're gaining knowledge instead of gaining more things to bring home and never use and never be able to find. So hopefully these 10 tips of self-care during the pandemic have been helpful to you. It's kind of a small list of many things that I do. I love doing things for myself. I'm constantly cooking for myself. I massage myself. I always give myself mani-pedis and facials. I mean, these are things that I do for myself to make myself feel better. And even I've had a case of the corona blues, I mean, you go out and it's almost like, I hate to use the word apocalyptic, but with these smoky skies in California and the ashes falling down and it's horrendously hot and muggy, it's kind of depressing. So these are things that I've been doing and being really mindful of during such a hard time. And it's really good to focus on the positive. I know that sounds kind of cheesy, but really, where focus goes, energy flows. Focus on being good to yourself, especially if your anxiety and your depression is prevalent during the pandemic and you feel really overwhelmed. Now is the time to be really, really good to yourself. And it feels good. It might be a little bit awkward at first for those that are always giving to others and never giving to themselves. But when you start to make time for yourself, just 10 minutes a day. I mean, if you don't have 10 minutes a day for yourself, then you don't have a life. Spend 10 minutes a day being good to yourself, taking a walk, reading a book, take a hot shower, use aromatherapy, do whatever you can and make yourself feel good. It's really something that you should practice anyway. And right now, it's especially important with all of the anxiety going on. You've got the election going on. You've got the smoke and the fires going on. There's a lot going on right now in the world to make us all stressed out. So self-care is definitely something that you're going to want to focus on. And once you've written down this list, go ahead and schedule it in. If you forget to take good care of yourself, schedule it in. Take a hot shower, put it on your calendar. Put it on your calendar to give yourself a massage. Put on your calendar to help somebody. If you have trouble remembering to be good to yourself, print out the list, post the list, tape it on your mirror, because it's so easy to neglect yourself right now, and it's so easy to beat yourself up. I mean, we're our own worst critics, right? So instead of going down that path, look to your list of the 10 things, hopefully more you can add to it, of things that you can do to be good to yourself. So when you start feeling down, look up the list. Go outside, get some sunlight, get exercise, whatever it is that resonated with you, whether it's all of them or just a few things on my list. Definitely try and schedule them in, or post them up on your mirror, or post them up on a place where you normally see them on your refrigerator, so that you remember. Because like I said, it's easy to neglect yourself. It's probably harder for a lot of you to take good care of yourself. And if you have any self-care tips that I have left off, I would love for you to share. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and comment in the comment section. And, let me know, what are your biggest challenges with taking care of yourself? And what are your tips for good self-care during the pandemic? I would love to hear. You can also email me at Rachel, Rachel, at collectorcare.com with some tips, ideas, challenges. And if you're overwhelmed to take care of yourself and you need some coaching help, I'm definitely available to coach you. I'm caring, compassionate. I'm a professional that can definitely provide you with some positive tips and resources to take care of yourself and to take care of your clutter through the pandemic. You can learn more about my coaching services on my collectorcare.com website by filling out an inquiry. And if you are watching this on YouTube, make sure that you're subscribed. Click that thumbs up button. Turn on your notification bell so that you don't miss any of my upcoming podcasts. And make sure that you're following me on Instagram or on Facebook, because I actually have some giveaways going on right now that I'm only doing on social media. So you can find me under Instagram, Collector Care 1, or on Facebook under Collector Care. And I'm super excited to talk about next week's episode. I have a wonderful gentleman who I just recorded with, and he is willing to totally bear all and share his clutter journey on the Hoardganize podcast. So tune in next week to hear Bill's first coaching session with me. It was really productive. I'm super excited for him. And together we'll be following his journey to see how he does. He's an open book. I really appreciate him for all that he is sharing with us. And it allows you to see what it's like to work with a coach and to be able to set goals and then to be able to break them down into bite-sized pieces so that you can manage them. So I'm super excited to share this experience with you. Again, collectors, please remember, happiness is a place between too little and too much.